everybody always talking about the prodigal son. Every time somebody look into the scripture, they always dealing with the prodigal son. The whole discussion, everything's about the prodigal son. If somebody read the text from Luke 15, it's always dealing with the prodigal son. You know, the oldest son may get mentioned. It may get mentioned the oldest son was an angry man, or how the prodigal son left his father's home and went to this far land, and he squandered everything that his father has given him. And the story is always about the prodigal son. But on today, I want to deal with this a little different. See, the first week we dealt with the prodigal son, and on last week we dealt with the father. And this week we're dealing with from the eyes of the faithful son, the elder son, the oldest one. Because what you have to understand, if you really think about it, the oldest son had an issue, and the oldest son was, if you look at the text, the oldest son was considered very angry because the party was going on, and it wasn't about him. But even from that moment, this story was told over 2,000 years ago, and yet and still, all the pastors, all the prophets, all the evangelists, all the bishops, all the teachers, everybody talk about the prodigal son, but nobody ever deal with the elderly son. Nobody ever dealt with the faithful son. The one that was faithful is the one that we tend to always forget about. Nobody want to preach about him because it's so easy to preach about the prodigal son, how he left and he came back and the father accepted him. Matter of fact, most of us can relate to that. I've been in church, I've been out of church, and I came back, and God accepted me back. And it's always great to be accepted. When I make mistakes, God accept me back. When I mess up, God always accept me back. He's not God of a second chance. He's a God of another chance. Anybody just thankful that God just continues to give you chance after chance after chance? So it's so easy for us to relate to the prodigal son. But what about the faithful one? What about the one that never left? The one that nobody talks about. The only thing the preacher ever brings up about him is that he was mad and he didn't want to come in the house. But what about him? Why? Why? Why did he stay outside? Why did he react the way he reacted? We always can judge a situation and point fingers at everybody else, but have you ever thought about why? Why? Somebody say the distance. At a distance, we got to move closer. We got to move closer. And on today, we're going to move closer into the text. I want you to go with me to the book of St. Luke. We're still in Luke, the 15th chapter. And last week we ended at the 24th verse, so we're going to continue here, the 25th verse. Amen. Luke 15, 25th verse. I want you to look at something too before I read the text. If you go to the 11th verse, Luke chapter 15, the 11th verse. If you look at this, the verse starts off, it says, "Then he said, a certain man had two sons." If you know anything about English, a certain man had two sons. The certain man was the subject. The story was never about the prodigal son. It was never about the elderly son. The story was always about the father. The story starts off and says a certain man had two sons. And this is what I want you to look at, because when I read the text, I want you to look at it. Although they're telling the story about the Son, Jesus is telling the story about the Son, it's still reflecting the Father. It's still the Father's story. I want you to look at this. Here it is. Verse number 25. It says, now his older son, still talking about dad. Now his oldest son was in the field. And as he came and drew near the house, he heard music and dancing. So he called one of his servants and asked, What? He heard dancing and singing. Then he went to the servant and asked, what these things mean? 27. And he said to him, your brother has come. And because of his receiving him safe and sound, your father has killed the fattest calf. But he was angry and would not go in. Therefore his father came out and pleaded with him. The father had to stop the party. The father had to leave the party he put together, to go outside and plead with the faithful son. Yeah. So he answered and said to his father, lo, many years I have been serving you. I never transgressed your commandments at any time. And yet you never gave me a young goat that I might marry with my friends. But as soon as your son, this son of yours, came, who has devoured your livelihood with harlots and killed the fattest calf for him. Here's the father, and he said to him, son, you always been with me, and all that I have is yours. It was right that we should make merry and be glad. For your brother was dead and is alive again, and was lost and is found. I want to go back to verse number 27. This is where I'm going to be pulling the text from on today. It says in verse number 27, it says, and he said to him, your brother came because he hath received him safely and sound, and your father has killed the fattest calf. Your brother is back, and your father has killed the fattest calf. Your brother came back home. He was lost. He came back home, and your father, he killed the fattest calf. I want to use for a subject topic today, it should have been me. It should have been me. It should have been me. You may have your seats in the presence of the Lord. It should have. It should have. It should have. It should have been me. My brothers and sisters, have you ever felt like that in your life? Where you've done something, you've been faithful, you always done the right thing, and it seems like something great happened to someone else. As a child, you was the faithful child. You done everything. You done your homework on time. Didn't give your parents that much problems, and you didn't cause that many issues. You weren't like them other siblings of yours. You stayed out of trouble. The teachers never had to call home because of you. Oh, but that old brother of yours, boy, he always used to get the phone calls, and he always, it seems like the big brother. It seems like he's the one, the troubled child is the one that got the most attention. And it seems like because I was the good one, because I didn't do anything, because I was Miss Goody Two, Mr. Goody Two Shoes, it seems like I was left out. It seems like I wasn't getting any attention. And because of that, because what you have to understand, sometimes in life you have to understand that bad attention is worse than it's better than no attention at all. Bad attention is worse than no attention at all, because sometimes people in our life, all they're doing, they're looking for attention. Is there anybody in this place know what I'm talking about? Have you ever starved for attention? Have you ever starved just to fit in? Have you ever just wanted to be a part of something? Is there anybody in this place know what I'm talking about? You work hard. You dress the right way because you're trying to get acceptance to something. You're doing the right thing because you want to be accepted to something. But it seems like no matter what you do, it seems like you always get left out. It seems like you're always unaccounted for. Even when you're present, you're absent. Even when you're present, you're absent. Even when you're doing the right thing, you're still invincible. Is there anybody in this place ever felt invincible? No matter how many people tell you they love you, deep down inside of you, you really feel, I don't care what you say with your mouth, I don't feel love. You tell me you love me, but I don't feel it. I don't feel it because it's more than just saying it with your mouth. Sometimes I want to feel what you're saying. Look at your neighbor and say, are you feeling me? Are you feeling? See, it's one thing to say it with words, but it's another thing to feel what somebody is saying. Do I feel the love? You can't say you love me, but every time you turn around, you're hitting me in my eye. You can't tell me you love me, but every time you're abusing me. You can't tell me you love me when you're abusing me physically and spiritually and emotionally. Instead of building me up, you're tearing me down, and you're saying that. Oh, and it seems like a lot of parents feel this. It seems like I'm doing everything. I'm the faithful parent. I'm the one that showed up. I'm the one that refused to abort you. I'm the reason you are here. Because of the law, I had the right to make decisions. Although it may not have been biblical, I had the right to make decisions. And I wasn't selfish, and I decided to have you. And now I have you, and I'm raising you by myself, but it seems like everybody else getting a favor, but not me. Seems like everybody else getting the love, but not me. I'm the parent that didn't leave you, but the one that walked out is the one that you want to be with. Why? Because you want acceptance from somebody that walked out of your life, but I'm still here, and now I got to pay for what they done by leaving you. Now I got to suffer. My faithfulness, I got to suffer. And I got to pay the price because Daddy walked out. And sometimes, as much as I love you, I don't feel any love back. Isn't it amazing how sometimes in life, when you're faithful, you don't feel love? You're faithful, you don't feel love. I'm faithful, but I feel broken. I'm faithful. And in the text today, my brothers and sisters, the father ran out and grabbed the son, and the oldest son was out in the field working. And as we looked in the text in prior Sundays, he killed the fattest calf, and he said, come on, it's time to party. It's time to party. It's time to celebrate that my son has come back home. It's celebration time. It's party time. It's time to get excited. Why? Because I thought my son was dead, but he's alive. He's alive. He's alive. He's come back. And now you have the oldest son that's been there faithful the whole time. He's been there. He didn't leave. He didn't ask for nothing. He didn't ask for anything extra. He was just okay with living in the Father's house. But his faithfulness in his mind didn't feel like it was good enough. My brothers and sisters, that's some folks in this place. You've been praying for other folks, and other folks getting that breakthrough. But you can't get your breakthrough. But you're faithful. You've been praying for somebody else's relationship, and their relationship is getting better. But it seems like when their relationship is getting better, that your relationship is getting worse. You was on the job and you was faithful on the job, but you was the one, even through your faithfulness, they missed you in the promotion. You've been faithful working overtime, but you didn't get the promotion. And you was faithful and praying for everybody else, but you was the one got fired. Is there anybody in this place know what I'm talking about? How you can be faithful, but it seems like even when you're faithful, it seems like things don't happen in your favor. It seems like favor is not happening in my life. That's a saying. Somebody say favor ain't fair. But what is favor not really fair when you've been faithful in everything you've been doing? It's one thing to have favor over your life and say favor ain't fair, but it's another thing to be faithful and still favor isn't fair in your life. He was there. The oldest son never left. Never left. He was the faithful one. He was the first one at the church. He had the key. He opened up the church, made sure the ACs was running for everybody, made sure the restrooms was clean. He was faithful doing everything he was supposed to do. He jumped from the sound room to the choir stand, jumped from the choir stand to the keys, and bounced from the keys to the drums, and he's all over the place. He's faithful, and he's doing anything he has to do wherever he can fit. I'm talking about being faithful. And even in his faithfulness, it seems like favor wasn't fair. Favor wasn't fair. My brothers and sisters, sometimes faithfulness doesn't always unfold the way we expect it to. Because what I want you to know is if you're faithful to God, God will be faithful to you. But just because it don't look like favor, don't mean you're not favored. First point. My first point is about focus. Focus. What are you focused on? What are you focused on? Where is your focus? What is your focus point? What's getting your attention? Who's getting your attention? Sometimes we're getting attention from everybody else, and oftentimes God pushes you in your life because he's trying to get your attention. Because he sees you straying off because you used to serve, you used to be faithful, you used to pray, you used to fast, you used to give God glory, you used to give him everything, but now you got a little something, and now you're starting to, now you're falling. The falling. Chicken Little say the sky is falling. Everywhere you go, it's falling. See, when things fall, you don't always see it. Why? Because God have you in such a blessed place, because he's been blessing your life because of your faithfulness, and he's been blessing you, but your focus has shifted, and your focus have changed, and now everything you used to focus on God, now you're focusing on everything else, and now everything else begin to fall off. My brothers and sisters, the faithful son got so caught up in his feelings. He forgot that he had always been in the safe house. He's always been in the safe place. He's always been in a place of safety. He was living in the Father's house. He was protected. He was provided for. He had everything he needed. But yet and still, it wasn't good enough. The other son came and had the party. And he figured it should have been me. My question for the faithful son is, brother, why were you so angry? Why were you so angry? The Bible ain't say nothing about you when he left. When he left, you didn't say a word. You didn't say a word. Could it be you really wanted him to leave so you can have Father all to yourself? See, a lot of times, even in ministry, we have to be very careful. We have to be very careful and don't get so caught up in positions where you're ready for somebody to leave so you can have it all to yourself. The son was leaving and he didn't say a mumbling word. He didn't say nothing. Matter of fact, when he left, all the conversations was between the youngest son and the father. The oldest son didn't even speak till he came back. Why are you so angry? Are you angry because you wanted to leave too? Are you angry because he left and he had the idea? He thought about it before me. Well, why are you so angry? Why are you so disappointed? You always been in the house and you disappointed with everybody that's coming to the house. You always been safe and now somebody else coming to safety and here you are disappointed. Why were you so angry? Why? Were you angry because you didn't know if I left, I could come back? Is that why you're angry? Are you angry because you didn't know that he was a forgiving father? Why are you so angry? Did you stay because of relationship or you stayed because of results? You know what I'm talking about. Some people go to church because if I miss church, I may have a flat tire. I'm paying my tithe because I want God to bless me with this house. I know if I pay, we acting like God is a jack-o'-lantern. It's like God is a genie in the bottle. We can rub and we can pay God to give us stuff. I know preachers preach about that and preach about prosperity. If you sow 10, he going to give you 20. But I'm telling you, you need to sow for the right reason. Why are you giving to God? Are you giving to God because you love him? Or are you giving to God because you want something? God, I don't want you. I want your stuff. I can care less about you, God. That's why you come to church and life affects your worship. That's why you come to church and you can't worship because you're thinking about what's going on in your life. Because worry is bigger than your worship. You got a big worry but a little worship. Worship. Praise leader got to come. Boy, praise leader got to fast 16 days. Praise leader got to fast 40 days and 40 nights just to get a breakthrough for you. Because you're so worried you can't worship. Somebody got to tell you to lift your hands. I'm faithful. I stayed in the house. But the Father got to make me come to the fest. Daddy got to make you come. You stayed in the house. Just because you in the house is not good enough. Can I talk to some church folks up in this place on today? Just because you come to church week after week don't mean it's good enough. The Bible said that the oldest son was in the field. While the party was going on, the oldest son was in the field. Sometimes we get so caught up in work, we miss the worship. Don't let work affect your worship. In the book of Luke, the Bible told a story about Mary and Martha. And Mary was worshiping and Martha was working. And then here's the funny thing. Worship Mary. Martha got mad at Mary because Mary was worshiping. You come in here every Sunday and you mad at somebody else because they getting their worship on. Mad at somebody else because they getting their breakthrough. This worship cost me something. This worship cost me something. I didn't come to church to just be silent. I came to get loose. I came to get my breakthrough. And I don't need nobody putting them hands on me, shaking me up. I will shake up myself. Is there anybody in this place to say, I got to shake up myself? Huh. I'm a shaker. I'm a soul shaker, baby. Shake them up, shake them. I don't need you to tell me to praise. I'm going to praise by myself because when I think of his goodness and what he's done for me, my soul cries out, yeah! Don't get so caught up in the work where you miss the worship. God is more concerned about your worship than he is about your work. Somebody say balance. It's a balance thing. Oh yeah, I'm not telling you don't work. Matter of fact, Trips also say faith without works is faith without working, it ain't getting you nowhere. But when it's time to worship, you gotta worship. In the book of Exodus, God told Moses to go to Pharaoh and tell him, let my people go so they can come to and worship me. God is more concerned with our worship than our work. Your work don't move God, but your worship. See, your worship is, you get into an intimate place. You get into an intimate place. Is there anybody want to get intimate with God? I'm talking next level relationship. I don't want to just serve. I want to worship God. I want to worship. And what you have to understand about worship, see, sometimes I'm going to help somebody. Sometimes you come to church and you come to church to get the right word to make you worship. Get the right word to make you move. But David says, when I come into his house, I enter into his house with thanksgiving and with courts of praise. David said, when I come into the house, even if I'm praising him by myself, it's going to sound like I got a whole army praising with me. Is there anybody in this place to say, I will get so loud for God, I will be praising by myself, and it sounds like multitudes giving God praises in this place. I'm going to bless the Lord and look at somebody and say, don't lose your focus. Don't lose your focus. Don't lose your focus. It's so amazing. The faithful son. I can't believe how angry he was. He should have been as happy as the father. If you're connected with the father, you're going to be happy with the father. I'm going to say that again. If you're connected to the father, you're going to be happy with the father. Isn't it amazing how the faithful son was in the house but disconnected? He was in the house, but he was disconnected. That's a dangerous place to be when you're in the house and you're disconnected from the source. Don't disconnect yourself from the source. Lord, you are the source of my strength. That's why you're weak, because you're not connected to the... Even when trouble come in my way, I won't fall down because I'm connected to the source. Look at somebody and say, "Oh, you're connected. Oh, you connected. Are you connected, or is your life falling apart?" If you want to know how connected you are, just check your life. Check your life. See, your life is your indicator. I'm not talking about hell breaking loose. I'm not talking about you losing your car. I'm not talking about you losing your house. See, stuff come and stuff go. But when you lose stuff and you lose your mind, you may be... Because even when you're connected, you lose stuff. But it's how you respond to the stuff that you're losing. Because I may lose my stuff, but I won't lose my God, because I wasn't connected to my car. I wasn't connected to my house. I wasn't connected to the credit. I wasn't connected to the job, but I'm connected to God. Is there some connected folks in this place? Look at your neighbor and say, "I'm connected. I'm connected. I'm connected. I'm connected. I'm connected." It's amazing how people draw closer to whatever they're focusing on. If you draw the negativity, you're going to get it. When you draw the God, you're going to get it. When you desire his spirit, when you say, God, I want more of you and less. I know it's a song, and the song real good, and you can worship. I'm talking, boy, doing everything right. Ooh, you got the stomp right. You got the shout right. You got the hand waving right. You got the body jerk right. I mean, I'm talking to the outside. They like, oh, boy, God hit him. And they just performing. They just performing because they're faithful, but they're not connected. You got to get connected. It's time out for just doing church. He was faithful, but he was just doing church. Waking up every Sunday morning. Routine. I get up, brush my teeth, stop by Mickey D's, come in the church. Whatever you do, finish church, I go to work, I watch some TV. Next Sunday, I get up, brush my teeth, go to Mickey D's, go to church. Next Sunday, I wake up, brush my teeth, go to Mickey D's. I'm going to get me an extra coffee this time. I'm going to church. Next Sunday, the same thing. Over and over and over and over and over again. And what's so amazing about it, the son was faithful, but the same thing over and over and over again. And what it led to is disappointment. Disappointed. Was you really upset because your brother came? Was you really upset because there's something inside of you that haven't been touched? There's something inside of you that haven't been tapped into. My brothers and sisters, I come to church on Sunday. Sometimes I'm tired in my body. I'm tired in my body. And some people probably laugh at me. You know what? I don't care. I ain't paying attention because I'm trying to get connected. I'm trying to get connected. I don't care how ugly it look. I'm trying to get my connection, baby. Because when I'm connected with my source, everything is all right. And I may come out here in the morning and come on this first row, and I'm sitting, and I'm trying to get into worship. I'm not waiting on nobody. I'm worshiping within myself. And every now and then, I'm gonna tell you, if you ever hear this scream, that's what it is. And every now and then, on a weekly basis, you're gonna hear this scream. You go, oh! I'm connecting. I'm connecting because at that point of my worship, even if it's hard, I'm gonna fight for my spot. I'm fighting for my position. I'm fighting in the spirit. When you hear me scream, I'm screaming because I'm fighting in the spirit. Why? Because I can't fight physically, but I can fight in my spirit. And when I fight in my spirit, you will hear me say, yeah! Look at somebody and say, tap into the spirit. Tap, 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 tap into the spirit. My next point is frustration. What do you do when your faithfulness doesn't seem like it's working? I'm faithful, but I still lost the job. I'm faithful, but I was still overlooked. I'm faithful, I still lost my mother. I'm faithful, my marriage still failed. I'm faithful, and my health still got bad. What do you do? What do you do when you raise them up in the church and they still ended up in prison? What do you do? He was angry. Anger is always about something happening to you. That some of us are angry over something that happened to us years ago. And you're still angry. So angry about what happened 10 years ago. A moment. They disappointed you. A moment. They cuss you out. It took 20 seconds. That argument was only 20 seconds. And you stuck there. And your body is still moving. 10 years later, you're 40 years old. You're 20 years old. You're 25 years old. You're 30 years old. And you're 30 years old and you're still upset about 20-year-old. You're still upset about a moment. The faithful son was angry over a moment. A moment. A moment. But there's some folks in this place that say, you know what? I got to snap out of it. I got to snap out of it. Why? Because I can't move forward if I don't snap out of it. Because my body is in 2019, but I'm still in 2012. My spirit is stuck in 12. I was hurt in 12. I was abused in 12. I was raped in 11. But here I am in 19. And I'm angry, frustrated because of what happened. Angry because daddy wasn't there. Daddy wasn't in my life. And here I am just angry. And what you have to understand, when you're angry, you abuse everybody that didn't do anything to you. I didn't cut you. Why you want to put the bleeding mess on me? I'm not the one that did it. Don't take it out on me. Don't take it out on me, parents. Just because you can, don't take it out on your children. Because the same abuse you had that got your head messed up, it's the same abuse that your children are getting. Angry about something that happened years ago. They walked out of your life years ago, and you're still angry. You was angry that they left. I know you was upset that they left, but my brothers and sisters, it's time to move forward. It's time to get over it. It's time to get over it. I know it hurts, but I got to get over it. I know it's painful, but I got to get over it. I know they didn't do anything great for me, but I got to get over it. Look at somebody and say, I got to get. I don't know about you, but is there anybody in this place to say my spirit has coming up on the rough side of the mountain? But is there anybody in this place say, I gotta climb spiritually? I gotta pull myself up. And what you have to understand, you can't pull yourself up by yourself. You have to pull yourself up in your worship. You have to pull yourself up in your worship. Here he is, frustrated. Frustrated. It should have been me. Man, this dude left. Then took all the money and sleeping with prostitutes, partying, having a good time. And now he come home and he throw him a party. Dude, I've been here. I never left you. I never left you. I've been faithful. I'm the faithful one, and you never gave me a goat. But you get him a calf? Oh yeah, he said this. He said this. He didn't even address the fattest calf. He said, man, I've been here my whole life, and you wouldn't even give me a young goat. See, because calves, meat is important. See, meat was important. See, they ate meat on special occasions. It takes something real serious for them to pull the meat out. You may see them. They may have a goat or two. They may have a calf that they've been having for 15, 20 years, and they wait for that special occasion like marriage and things like that, and they pull out a fat one. That fat one said, we eating good. Y'all know what I'm talking about. No, I'm talking about. I mean, I know chicken breast is good. The chicken breast is healthier. I don't know, but there's something about the greasy parts of the. It just got a different taste. I know some of y'all ain't feeling that, but I don't know. A drumstick tastes real good. Because a chicken breast it's better for you, but it sometimes can be dry if you don't cook it right. But whether you cook it right or cook it wrong, a drumstick, Reverend Darrell, is always on point. You got to be really messed up to mess up a drumstick. I mean, it's real bad. You mess up the drumstick. I mean, come on, you never cook. You never cooked the breast before. You can mess it up. You can be a great cook. I mean, some of the best chefs mess up a nice breast, and it's not wet. It's dry. But even the men, immatures, right? I mean, y'all agree with me, right? Even the immatures can get that right. Huh? But here you are. You wouldn't even give me a goat, man. You can't even fix me a goat, but you get this dude the fattest calf? But you won't give me a goat? Man, come on. What? I've been faithful. Man, I've been serving you for 15 years, and I can't get a breakthrough? You call yourself a just God? Yeah, we said, but we don't tell nobody. We come in, but sometimes you don't feel like it. Huh? But you know what? Even when you don't feel like it, somebody say breakthrough. Breakthrough. Here he is. So he's having a conversation, and he decides. The father, they're having a feast. My next point, give me a feast. So they're having a feast on the inside, and he's on the outside. On the outside, working in the field, and he find out he had a party going on. And he get upset because they partying and having a good time, and he's like, man, what's going on? What's going on, man? I hear music. I hear some dancing going on. I see Jack over there dancing crazy, doing the MC Hammer. I see Shanice over there doing the stanky leg. What's up? Shanice, what you doing over there? Why you dancing? I see Minister Terry. I come to church on Sunday. I see Minister Terry running the aisles, and it's like, dude, you almost hit me, man. What's wrong? It don't take all that, man. It don't take all that, man. It's not that serious. It's not. What's she running for? What? Hey, what's she running for? Is she crazy? Man, what pastor doing all that hollering for, man? Like, dude, you hurt my ears, man. I mean, like, dang, hey, Sister Rita, can y'all turn the mic down? I mean, but if you've been through what I've been through, and you know what I know, I've been through hell. And through my worship, I fought my way out. Somebody say it's time to go to the feast. It's time to go to the feast. Here he is. Here he is. I'm trying. Here he is. There's a feast going on. He's on the outside. And a celebration going on the. Sometimes you can be on the outside and a celebration is going on. The reason why I worship the way I do, because it's not about what's going on the outside. It's what's going on the. How dare you sit like God haven't done anything for you? How dare you stand outside the house like he haven't done anything for you and refusing to come to the party because he haven't gave you the fattest cat? Because if you just go in the house, it doesn't matter who he provides the cat for. I'm going to get me some cat too. God, any way you bless me, Lord, I'll be satisfied. If you bless my neighbor, I'll be satisfied. If you bless my friends, I'll be satisfied. If you bless my cousin, I'll be satisfied. Anyway, you bless me, Lord, I'll be satisfied. Shake your neighbor and say, neighbor, it's time to party. Party like a rock star. Party. It's party time. Get up on your feet and celebrate sometime. Come on. I don't care who the cat is for, but I'm going to get me some peace. I'm going to get me a piece. If I can have a bite, one piece is good enough for me. I don't care. I don't care if the blessing was for you. I don't care if the blessing was for you. If I can get out of my flesh, if I can lose my attitude, I can get some blessing too. Let's praise him for the blessing. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, I am blessed. High five your neighbor and say, I'm blessed. Blessed in the city. Blessed in the field. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I choose to worship. I choose to praise him. I choose to praise God the same way I had to get out of bed. Hey. The same way I had to get out of bed when all hell was breaking loose in my life. When I didn't feel like getting out of bed. I didn't even feel like waking up. But look at somebody and say, I got up. it got a little hard in my life. Everybody was acting crazy. The money was funny. I didn't feel any love in my life. Even though I wanted to sleep all day, I got up. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, I got up. Look at your other neighbor and say, neighbor, I got up. Look at the one that's talking to you and say, neighbor, I got up. In disappointment, I got up. In sickness, I got up. When the health failed, I got up. Hey, the same way I got up, it's the same way I will fight my way out of depression, fight my way out of mental health, fight my way through the valley of suicide, fight my way through the storm, fight my way through the den of haters, through the den of backbiters, through the den of backstabbers. I fight my way through seasons of insecurity. I'm fighting my way out. I'm fighting my way through. Not one, but I'm fighting my way. Not one demon. I'm fighting my way out from legions of demons. I gotta fight, but I'm fighting my way out. I'm fighting my way through generational curses. I'm fighting my way out of generational curses. Curses of my parents. I gotta fight not only my demons, but my mama's demons, my daddy's demons, my granny's demons, my grandparents' demons, my cousin's demons. I gotta fight some demons. I fought my way through generation after generation. But the book stopped now. The curse is broken. I'm coming out. I'm coming out. Give him praise. Yeah. Hey. Hey. High five your neighbor and say, neighbor, I'm coming out. High five your other neighbor and say, I'm coming out. Grab your neighbor by the hand and say, neighbor, you coming out of this. 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 I know it's tough, but you coming out of this. I know it's painful, but you coming out of this. I know you want to quit, but you're coming out of this. I know you're tired, but you're coming out of this. I'm coming out. I'm coming out. I'm coming out. I'm coming out. Hey! Come on. You gotta fight your way out of it. You gotta fight your way through it. I'm in a lion full of demons, but I'm gonna fight my way through every struggle, every trial, every test. I'm fighting my way through anger, through depression, through insecurity. I'm fighting. This is a spiritual battle. This is a spiritual battle. When I'm dealing with things in my body, I'm tired. I'm weary in my body. What I do, I dig down deep. I dig down deep. I take myself to a place. I take myself to a place that I don't even like going. Because when you go to that place, you got to grab some stuff. You got to grab that hurt. You got to grab that pain. Oh, but what you got to understand is when I go to that place this time, I'm not going to that place by myself. I'm not going by myself. Look at somebody and say, dig deep, dig. Dig deeper. You got to go deeper. You got to go deeper. You've been standing outside the house, but you got to make your way in the house. Change your focus. Change the way you see it. Change your perspective. Bind the frustration. Bind the anxiety. Bind the anger. And push anger out to the side. And say, I got to get in the house. I got to get in the house. I got to get in the house. Because everybody in the house is celebrating right now. But I'm on the outside looking in. I've been window shopping. But this season, my window shopping days are over. Oh, I'm tired, but I'm tired is going to the side. Tiredness, I push you out of my life. Laziness, I push you out of my life. Procrastination, I push you out of my life. Stubbornness, I push you out of my life. Any mental disorder that the doctors diagnosed over your life, every demonic attack, we push it out of our life. Push it out of your 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 life. Come on, you got to push in the spirit. You got to push in the spirit. See, we're not wrestling against flesh and blood, but this thing is about your spirit. This thing is about your spirit. Push it out of your life. Push it out of your life. Whatever stopping you. Whatever stopping you. Whatever stopping you from getting in the door. Push it to the side. All the anger. Push it to the side. Push it. Push it to the side. Push it. Push it to the side. Push it to the side. Unlike the faithful son. See, his story ended with him being outside the house. His story ended in his anger. His story ended in his pain. Don't let your story end the same way. You better be the narrative of your own story. See, the faithful son, he just stood there. Matter of fact, the father pleaded with him and said, son, come on home and come in. Come in, man. You had everything already. What you upset for, man? You had everything. Everything I have is yours. Man, come on, man. Come on. And the Bible said the son just stood there. The son stood there. Huh. But stagnation stops today. The father told him to come in the house. And he was standing there, but he's moving. Whatever it is, whatever's holding you back in your life, push it to the side. Push it to the side. It should have been me. It should have been me. Because it wasn't originally for me, I'm going to get it anyway. I'm going to get it anyway. If it's a party going on, I'll be there. You can call me the praise party crasher. You can call me whatever you want to call me. But wherever the Spirit is, I want to tap into it. Because where the Spirit is, there is liberty. And if you're in a place with the Spirit and you still leave bound, You're replaying the story of the faithful son. Faithful but hurting. Faithful but pain. Lift those hands. Lift those hands. This is your moment. This is your moment. I want you to lift those hands right where you are.